I was zeicha to learn with the Rav through Kol HaLashon. I think it was a full cycle of Shas. So, Baruch Hashem, you and I have the schus of the most incredible Daf Yomi Magachir, I think, of the world.
Right.
Here's my opportunity to be able to say Yashikayach Barab. So thank you for that opportunity. Now, I know that when coming to learn, nobody's interested in hearing anything else. They just want to hear the shir. But allow me just for one moment to share our excitement on behalf of Adopt a Kodel that we have. Rabbi Weiss invited us to the shul, and Baruch Hashem, we had a very warm welcome. And we are now almost 550 partnerships. What a tremendous, tremendous Kiddush Hashem. And I'm sitting here in my office, and you can see this banner behind me is our list of Gabbayim is well over 1,500 Gabbayim that we have worldwide, with tens of thousands of Yidden that give every single month. And the beauty of Adopt a Kodel is that there's no pressure. You give what you feel comfortable giving, and it's not meant to be on the cheshbon of other obligations. But yet, at the same time, Klal Yisrael came forward with such a brand, with such a geschmack, with such a strong hineni. They realize that our brothers in Eretz Yisrael have less than the bare minimum, and they're learning Torah b'toich HaTchak. And we all realize that that's a schus, that we could have part of their Torah. And like the Rav mentioned before, this Kodel is Talmidei Chachamim that are at the verge. Their financial standing is not great. And Yetz Hashem, what this group will be sending, and you're all invited to join, will actually be a make it or break it for the Kodel. So Ashrei Sam Ashri Chalketzam, that you could be part of this tremendous Kiddush Hashem that goes from Misoifai Elam Atzoifai, and the difference that you're making is incredible. And you're part of movement in Klal Yisrael that is what we would say the beauty. This is where you can see the beauty of Klal Yisrael, how they came forward, and everybody is invited to join. And especially in these days, we just came after Yom Kippur, and we davened through a bunch, and we said Torah Kedosha Eschaneni B'Vakasha. We see that the Torah is our greatest advocate. The Torah will intercede on our behalf. So we're all looking out for a good kvittel, a good yar, and there's no greater schos than Talmud Torah, like it says, Talmud Torah K'neged Kulam. So I'm just going to end by saying thank you very much for the Rav for inviting me, and if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer, but I don't know if this is the forum, but just the Bekitz and Nimritz is thank you and Atzlacha Rabbah to everybody.
Rabbi. Your website is supposed to you just sending in checks.
So the Rav will send, I'm sorry, thank you for bringing that up. It's a very important point and something we're very proud of. We are, I believe, the first organization that doesn't touch any of the money that's raised. All the money gets sent directly from the shul to the Kodel. It doesn't go through our organization. All the overhead is privately funded, and the money that's raised goes to the Kodel. So the Rav will share the information how you can send it to the Agudah Fairways. The money goes to the shul, and the shul will send the money.
Yeah, what we're doing, Shalom, what we're doing is I created a separate branch, a different account, not the regular shul account. There's a different account with a different account number, and then I send it straight to there's an organization that converts it to shkolim for free, so that there's no payment for the exchange rate, and it goes from there straight to the Kodel. Rabbi Bernfeld, did you speak to Chaim today?
I spoke to the office in Yisrael, and I think it's going to be arranged that it should hit his account tomorrow.
Oh, that would be wonderful, because could you imagine? I sent the money into the one that does the exchange, but there was a chance that the money wouldn't get there before Yom Tov. And
not 100% yet. We're going to know tomorrow.
But they need it for Yom Tov, So also tomorrow is probably one of the biggest days to give tzedakah. They say that the Reb Chaim Vital gave every single penny or whatever it was, kopeck or ruble or whatever, in his kupa on Erev Sukkot. Also, Rav Chaim Sanzer, the same. The idea is because Sukkot night, besides the fact that we commemorate Hashem's kindness in taking care of us with the Anani HaKavod, it's also the fact that we're going to meet up with Avram Avinu. You know, he's Yeshpizin of the first day of Sukkot, and it's a great pride to come into the Sukkah and meet Avram Avinu and say, Tata Avram, look what I did. You know, so tomorrow is a very great day. That's why I feel so excited to it's very easy for me not to get involved in things like this. You know, but this is really, today we're hearing every day such terrible news from Eretz Yisrael. I mean, you hear Abi just came back, our Abi, one of our Bava Basra Daf, Abi Spry, just came back from Eretz Yisrael, and you hear that his own son, he wasn't home for Yom Kippur. They were grateful that he was able to fast. But he wasn't home for Yom Kippur. He secured a Sefer Torah, and it's hard on everybody. Of course, it's hard on the wife. It's hard on the children. It's unbelievable what's going on. So helping out our people say that it's the David slingshot and the Iron Dome. It's not that. It's the learning. I mean, that's our ishtadlus, but it's the learning that does it. So Baruch Hashem, Rabbi Bernfeld, I would imagine, I'm not at liberty to say exactly what the Mazel Tov is, but he has a family Mazel Tov tonight. We wish you Mazel Tov, and you should be able to help many, 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 many more Kailim.
Amen. Amen.
It's been the mitzvahs.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night.
Kol Tov.
Okay. You know something, Rabbi Say, if we could use our platform for tzedakah as well as learning, it's only a good thing. We have.
The address, the address that the Rav put on the WhatsApp, that is to, and let's say a person just wants to give one sum.
You could do that. You could do that too. You see, I'm encouraging people to give once a month, even a tiny amount, because that's the way it's pruta mitzvah chesh ben gadol. But if you want to give one sum, again, it should go to, it's Agudas Yisrael Beis Zev is the name, and the Zel is Rabbi Moshe Meir Weiss at gmail.com. That's exclusively for Adopt a Kailim. But that's not used for anything else. I made a bracha already. So like I said last night, I went over to a doctor, and people that know me know that I don't go very often to doctors, and because I felt I wanted him to listen to my lungs, and there was crackling in my lungs, so they put me on another antibiotic, and I tried. I never tried in my life. I tried a steroid, but it doesn't agree with me. I couldn't manage it. I took one last night and one this morning, and
Where's the cannabis?
I couldn't. I don't need cannabis. I have you.
I aim to please.
Yeah, I have you. Ruvain Shannon has arrived, so now we could start. I saw for a moment we had Mr. Panzer on. Is he still on?
I hope you're feeling okay. I want you to know, I had a Sukkot Tachan moment today. What a boost. What a tremendous boost. Good.
I don't see him now.
We got 30 Zoomers. English.
I know, but the head of Kolaloshin, his 90-year-old father wanted to join us tonight, Reb Panzer, but I saw him for moments, but maybe they're having trouble with the hookup. But anyway, if you're listening on Kolaloshin, a warm welcome.
Rabbi Weiss, he's on. It's Harrison Kletzel. He's on.
Oh, Harrison, is that? Are you David Panzer's Schwer? Yeah? An honor to have you. Okay. So we are holding Rabbi Isai with finally getting to the business at hand. Torah is our business here, and we are holding 4 lines from the top of Kuf Yud Daled Amud Aleph, so at least we're ahead. So here I'm looking for somebody to do business with. I'm looking for Kuf Yud Daled. Looking for somebody to do business. Now, I'm not so silly as to do business with you-know-who. This is serious business. So I'm gonna do business with Dr. Black. Now, Dr. Black, it's not business, but in appreciation for your wonderful being on the Zoom, I am deciding to give you a gorgeous Staunton chess set. Gorgeous. It's the pieces are handcrafted and they're lifelike, so you can't say, well, I thought it was the queen, not the king, right? Right? And so Dr. Black is extremely excited about this. And he wants to cement the deal, so it's heavy. He wouldn't be able to be kind of with Agva. It's a heavy set. He would have to do Mashiach, but he wants to really seal the deal, so he makes a Kinyan Chalipin. He takes out, he's an old-fashioned guy, he has a handkerchief, if you know what one of those are. He takes it out of his pocket, he gives it to me, and in that way, it's Caleb Shulkaina, in that way, he acquires the chess set. However, the Gemara says, since it's not a classical Kinyan, there is a grace period that I could change my mind. And the Gemara wants to know what that grace period is. There is a grace period. The Gemara wants to know what that grace period is. So, Itmar, Kinyan, ad ema sai chayzer. Until what point can I back out? It's a sentimental chess set. I won games against famous players with it. I can't part with it. So ad ema sai chayzer. Rabba says, Kol zman sheyoshvin. I could back out as long as we're sitting together. As long as we're still sitting and talking about it, I could say, sorry, Dr. Black, I'll find another set, but I can't part with this set. That's even though I already took the handkerchief. Rav Yosef says, Kol zman she'asukin ba'osei inyan. No, I don't have such a big grace period. I could only back out as long as we're talking about the chess set. I'm telling him, Dr. Black, I want you to see that the pieces are very distinct, and look at this set. It carries an extra queen for each side in case you promote a pawn and you get another queen, so it has an extra queen, and you see that the squares are very, very well defined. You can't mix it up. The white and the classic brown squares. And as long as we're talking about the chess set, I could back out. But if I switch to talking about the Ushpizin and Staka and Avram Avinu, I can't back out anymore. So that's the opinion of Rabbi Yosef. Rabbi Yosef, I'm a Kolzman, she'oiskin b'oiseyin. Now, what is this? I know what everybody is wondering. What does this have to do with the price of tea in China? What does that have to do with our Masechta? What does that have to do? I saw that in Rabbi Kranz's eyes. So, Amar Rav Yosef Kavasi Didi Mistavra, it's reasonable, it's only until they change the subject. The Amar Rav Yehuda, remember we said that Yerusha is din. And therefore, if a dying man is making a partial bequest, and since he's making a partial bequest, he wants to cement it with a kinyan. So he said that if he does it in front of 3 people, Abi, Yitz, and Shalom, so Shloisha shenichnasu levakeres hachayla, if the 3 came in to visit a sick person. Ratzu kaisman, if they want, they could just write it up, that they're testifying that he made such a testament, and then he made this testament to Yitzi. Yitzi would have to bring it to court to collect it. Or, since there are 3 people, they could convene a court and actually award it to Yitzi. Ratzu oisin din. Question is if he could back out all the while they're sitting, then how could they make it in? How could they make it in? Maybe before they get up, he might back out. He might change his mind. He might retract. So it sounds like a good, but if they change the topic, so if the dying man started talking about something else, so then it's irreversible, and then they can make it in. So he says, you see, it's more mistaber to me that you can't change once they change the topic. So Amar Rav Ashi said, Amrisa l'shmaitze kamei de Rav Kahana. I said this over to Rav Kahana, ul Rav Yosef minicha, and according to Rav Yosef, is it good? It says that they can make it in. Doesn't this mean they can make it in even if he's still talking about the bequest? What will you have to say according to Rabbi Yosef? The yisliku min yana lil yana, that the dying man, even though it doesn't say it, the dying man switched the subject. So according to Rabbi, he'll learn that the people got up and then reconvened. They got up, and they sat back down, and that's why they would be able to make a din. However, now normally you have to know in Shas, normally the din is Rabba v'Rab Yosef halacha karabba. This is one of the great 3 exceptions in Shas, that the halacha is like Rab Yosef. V'hilchas kavasei de Rab Yosef b'sada inyan u'makta. In 3 cases, the din of sada, the din of inyan, and the din of makta. Now, in the middle case, inyan is this case that we pass like Rav Yosef, that when can I not back out of giving Dr. Block the Staunton chess set? Don't worry, Dr. Block didn't forget about that, right? I can't back out as soon as the topic is switched. As soon as the topic is switched and we start talking about Sukkos and not about the chess set, I can't back out anymore. Now, just for completion, what are the 2 other cases? What's Sada and what's Machta? So Machta is, we had a case earlier in the Masechta. If a man says that he's giving half of his estate to his children and half to his wife, so does that mean that he gives to his children and he gives to his wife an equal share as one of the children? Or does it mean that he gives to his wife half and his children the other half? And Rabbi Yosef says that the halacha is, Rabbi Yosef says you give to the wife a full half of the estate, and that's how we pass it. And the case of Sodeh, the din is, if let's say Reuven, Shimon, and Levi are inheriting an estate, and one of the lands is next to Levi's other lands, so Levi, with the din of Bar Metzra, could claim that he wants to get that specific land because it's near his other fields, and the others should take other lands. And that's Rabbi Yosef's opinion, and we paskin like Rabbi Yosef by Sodeh as well. What do you want to ask, Stephen?
What if Dr. Block changes the subject and not the giver?
It makes no difference. As soon as we talk about something else, it's I would have to open my mouth. But as soon as I open my mouth, it's done.
So even though maybe Dr. Block knows this halacha, he says, well, if I change the subject...
Well, there's a reason why Dr. Block is a doctor. He's a smart man.
I understand. Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
What?
That's the reason why I'm at this year, to learn these special lessons.
Okay, good. Till 120, both of us. Now, Isha Espina. We said that a woman inherits her son, but she doesn't transmit to the son. Now, actually, the Mishnah says a man inherits his wife but doesn't transmit, and a son inherits his mother but doesn't transmit to her. And then it says the other way around, that a wife transmits to her husband but doesn't inherit. A mother transmits to her son but doesn't inherit him, right? Because a mother won't inherit her son because it's a mishpachaisam lebeis avoisam. So the saying it the other way around is really redundant. Says Hasu Lamali. Why do we have to say it both ways? Hatanule Reisha. It says in the Reisha, Ish es imai, a man inherits his mother, but he doesn't transmit to his mother. Va'ish es ishtai, a man inherits his wife and doesn't transmit to her. So why does it have to say it vice versa? That a woman will inherit her son, a woman will transmit to her son but not inherit him, and a wife will transmit to her husband but not inherit him. It's exactly the same thing. So the Gemara says it's coming to tell us a big Kiddush. Now I want to remind you of the halacha that we learned, that a husband does not inherit from his wife ro'i, but only murzik, which means that if, let's say, Chatzkel, well, let's give a case of names that you know. Avram is married to Sarah. Sarah has a son, Yitzchak, and Sarah has a father, Terach. So what happened is Sarah dies. This is, of course, not a biblical case, but Sarah dies during the lifetime of Terach. And then Terach dies. So if Sarah would inherit from Terach in the grave, Yorish Bekever, then it would go to her husband Avram. But since she doesn't inherit in the grave, when Terach dies, it goes to Yitzchak and not to the husband. No reason why it should go to the husband. He's not married to Sarah anymore. So he goes to the grandson, Yitzchak. So, and another way of saying that is that a husband is only Yorish b'mulzik with what his wife has, but not with Roy, not with what was Roy to come to her. So again, in the event that, Again, if Avram was married to Sarah, and her father was Terach, and her son was Yitzchak. So if Sarah predeceases her husband and her father, and then Terach dies, so it goes to Yitzchak. It doesn't pass to her in the grave and then go to her husband. So the Gemara says it's the same thing with a mother and a son. Let's see that inside. Says the Gemara, Hakamash Malan, the Isha Espana, a woman to her son, Dumya the Isha Esbail, is similar to a wife with a husband. Ma Isha Esbail, just like a wife with a husband. Eina Bal Yoirish Es Ishtoi Bekever, he doesn't inherit his wife when she's in the grave, so that when Terach, her father, dies, we don't say she inherits it in the grave and then it passes to her husband, but rather we say it goes from Terach to his grandson, Yitzchak. Af Isha Espana, so also a wife with her son, Eina ben Yoirish es imay bekever, the son doesn't inherit in the grave, lahanchil la'achin mina'ov, to transmit it to his paternal brothers. Now here, again, using the mock-up that I made, here we have a case where Avram is married to Sarah, and Avram is married to Sarah, and Yitzchak has a brother from the father. Who's that? Yishmael. Yishmael is his brother only from a paternal brother, because Avram had Yishmael from a different wife, from Hagar. So Yishmael is not related to Sarah. Now here, what happens is again, this is a mock-up, but Sarah passed away, and what happened is Yitzchak predeceased Sarah. Since Yitzchak predeceased Sarah, he didn't inherit her. If he would have inherited her in the grave, so then if he didn't have any children, and his father wasn't alive anymore, the next in line would be his paternal brother Yishmael. But that's only if he inherits it in the grave. If he doesn't inherit it in the grave, then there's no connection that it should go over to Yishmael, because Yishmael is not related to Sarah at all. Sarah wasn't his mother. The only way he would be connected is if we say that Yitzchak inherits it in the grave. If Yitzchak inherits it in the grave, then it would pass to his paternal brother. So therefore, says the Gemara, Af Isha Espana, so also a mother to her child, Eina ben Yoirish es imay bekever, the son doesn't inherit his mother in the grave, lahanchil la'achin mina'ov, to pass it to a paternal brother, in this case Yishmael. Now, Amar Reb Yochanan Mishum Reb Yehuda ben Reb Shimon, Dvar Torah. Now this is a big chiddush. We don't get too connected to this. We don't hold like this. But Dvar Torah, from biblical ways of looking at it, Ha'av Yorish es B'nai, a father should inherit his son, V'isha Yoreshes es B'nah, and a mother should inherit her son. Why? Shenemar Matais. Remember we said a juxtaposition of Matais. Matish, Makish, Mata aim, Lamata up. We should make a juxtaposition between the tribe of the mother and the tribe of the father. Mata of, just like the tribe of the father of Yoresh es B'nai. So Af Mata aim, so also the tribe of the mother, Isha Yoresh es B'nai. Now we know that that's not the case, because it says in the Mishnah clearly that a woman transmits to her son, but the son doesn't transmit to the mother because it says you only go to the patrilineal line. Says Gemara, Esrei, how could you say that? Esrei, Rabbi Yochanan asks, Rabbi Yehuda ben Shimon, it says, Isha espana, a woman to her son, Isha es bailen, a woman to her husband, V'achia aim, manchilin v'loy neichelin. They transmit and they don't inherit. So it says clearly that a mother doesn't inherit a child. So Amalei, so he said, Reb Shimon ben Yehuda says, Mishnah Seinu, Eina Yodeya Mishon. I don't know who taught our Mishnah. So the Gemara says, well, V'lei Malei Reb Zechariah ben Akatzavi. Let's say it's Reb Zechariah ben Akatzav, D'loi Dorish Matis. Because remember we said that Reb Zechariah ben Akatzav said that when it comes to inheriting a mother, the son and the daughter inherit equally. We said, but it says matais, makish mata of lamata aim, just like by the mata of, the girl inherits only when there's no son. We should say the same thing by the mother. Rabbi Zechariah ben Akatzav doesn't hold to the drush of matas. Leimalei Rabbi Zechariah ben Akatzav, he deloi dorish matas. So says the Gemara, no, our Mishnah can't be like Rabbi Zechariah ben Akatzav. Says the Gemara, loy metukna masnisin Rabbi Zechariah ben Akatzav, diktani u'bnei achais. We said that in the event that Chatzkel dies and he has no brothers and he has no father and he has no children, he has a sister, and the sister died, but she has sons, so those sons inherit. In other words, Chatzkel's nephews from his sister inherit. And we said that we learn out, V'tana b'nei achais, only the sons of the sister, v'loi b'nei achais. In other words, we compared the second generation to the first generation, that if there's a daughter, the daughter doesn't get when there's a son. But according to Zechariah Akatzav, he doesn't hold that way. He holds, Rabbi Zechariah ben Akatzav says that even by the mother, the son and the daughter inherit equally. So when it says b'nei achos, why does it say b'nei? V'amar Rav Sheshis l'kading, to tell us that the nephews get before the nieces. V'isol g'daytach masnisim Rav Zechariah ben Akatzav, ha'amar, he said, echad ben ve'echad bas shavim b'nichsei ha'ein. So the Gemara says, okay, then what's the logic of our Tana? V'tana dinan mimanavshach, I dorish matis, if he darshins matis, being makish mata'im mata of, so then l'chayra, just like a father inherits his son, a mother should also inherit her son. Isha nami tirish es bana. And Eloi darish matis, and if he doesn't darshin matis, then ben kaidem labas, that the son comes before the daughter, b'nichse'ei minalei, because that's how we know that the son comes before the daughter, because we're makish mata'im lamata of, just like by mata of, the son inherits before the daughter, the same thing is by mata'im. Says the Gemara, la'olam darish matis. No. Of course our Mishnah darshins matis, and that's how we know that the son, that by a mother also, the son gets before the daughter. If there's a son, the daughter doesn't get. And also by the children of the aunt, the deceased, the children of the deceased sister, if there's a son, b'nei achais v'loi b'nei achais, the son gets before the daughter. If so, why do we say that the mother doesn't inherit her son? Why don't we say makish mata aim lamata of, just like the mother, just like a father inherits a son, the mother should also inherit a son. V'shani hacha da'amakra v'kol bas yoreshes nachala. A girl inherits. Yoreshes, she inherits, ve'ena moreshes. She doesn't transmit. So while the girl will inherit, she doesn't transmit to her son. So a mother does not transmit, Bas Yereshes Nachla, which means that the daughter will inherit the legacy from her father. Yereshes be'ena Mareshes, but a Bas will not bequeath it to her mother, and nor will a son bequeath it to her mother. Rather, it goes l'mishpachaysam l'beis avoisam, to the patrilineal side. Okay, now Rabbi Isai, we're going to learn the segment known as for the Shabbos table on Sukkot, and then after that we're going to do a Mishnah Yomis. So